Alright, guys, welcome back to another IAAI Dayton Tuesday rundown. We're looking at Tuesday, May 18th. So, first, we got a runner driver 300. These are okay cars. They're pretty stylish for their day. Basically, this unit is just a little bit too old. We have experience with these, so I'll just add it to the watch list. See if it goes for under 1,000. We got a stationary Mercedes. These cheaper Mercedes, where they get you is the parts. The parts are going to be expensive and hard to find. So, best to just avoid it. Trailblazer. I mean, what can you say? They were around for a long time. They were never spectacular, but if you get lucky, you could get one that would run for a long time. This one has mechanical issues. It's stationary. Key is present. So I don't know what it could be. I'm not really interested in a mid-size SUV like that. Chrysler 200. Not a great car. Neither is the Avenger. These have transmission issues. So this is the long GMC Envoy. And the long SLE. Yeah, I think that's the long wheelbase, right? Yep. So this was actually a 7-passenger, believe it or not. They stretched it out and it was cheaper than a Tahoe. And you got 7-passenger seating, so it looks pretty clean actually with an original title. So I think there'll be a lot of interest in this. We're not really looking for SUVs right now, so I'll just leave it alone. An 06 series. You don't know what you're getting with used BMWs. You're probably getting deferred maintenance. That's pretty much a guarantee. You know, the third, fourth, fifth owners can't really afford to maintain these cars, and all the little things that happen just keep getting extended. So yeah, this is too much of a headache. 2012 Azera, too new, probably gonna be too expensive, but it's a good looking car. Cobalt, I don't really mess with those. Echoes, don't really mess with these. Too small, too cheap. An 06 Civic with a lot of miles. But again, you know, this is right in our wheelhouse. Let's see if this is a manual. Faded paint, original. It's an automatic. Hit in the rear. That's what they say the damage was. So this is a good car. If you get this for 1,500, you might be able to make $500 on it. Listed for 25. Take 2. Because of all the rough body issues. A Fusion with a lot of miles. And the 4-cylinder, I wish that was the V6. But Fusions are good cars. They're pretty reliable. Parts are readily available and cheap. I really don't know what something like this would go right now at an IAAI. It is transmission damage. Okay. Subaru, I'm not really with them. I think when they get this old, the parts are harder to find, and it's just kind of not worth it. This Camry is a little too far back in a 1. Mazda 6. This is basically a Fusion, you know, with a sportier body style, I think. So this is an interesting car. Clean title. Minor damage in the front. I think this will probably go for over $2,000 at IAAI. I'll add it to the watch list. Okay. Pacifica, we'll leave those alone. Liberty will leave that alone. Saturn will also leave it alone. I really don't know what you could get for this car anymore. It's amazing. This is a Survivor in '97 with 270,000 miles. Same with this. Don't really see the profit potential. Got another Sunfire. A lot of miles. So, you change the oils, these cars are lasting, which is good to see, but I think you're really limited on the profit side. I think a lot of buy here, pay here, people pick them up and just make money on their interest. But that is not what we do. This is a very clean Focus in '09. We never had one this new. I'll add that to the watch list. It's already at $500. Yeah, this is a great little car. Clean title. So it will fetch a good price. I think this is the same Suburban from last week. It didn't sell. Buy now $625. So the first time around it didn't sell. They brought it back in with a buy now, and people still haven't jumped on it. Yeah, it must be. We see some rust, faddy paint. Oh yeah, pretty serious rust. Salvage title. So with the 650, let's do our cost calculator, see why it's still there. People must not think it's worth it. Yeah, about $1,000 for a really rough Suburban. I don't think it's worth it either. The Civic was here last week. Buy now on a $675. I think that's too old and too rough. The Z71. I'm surprised that didn't sell. So an 1100 buy now with fees. Let's see, what does that end up being? And I'm really surprised this didn't sell. It's a 5.3 leather interior, which looks in good shape. So people are bidding, so people want it under that 1100. Oop. This Ranger was here. They got it for 1100. Didn't sell last time. This Transit van didn't sell last time. And here is that cargo van. Wife is looking for one of those. She wants to do a project. The Camry is here, $625. Tundra, I've got one of these. It's my work truck. I love it. This one is just an 08. I like the 10 because it has Bluetooth streaming and stuff, and I'm not really looking to do all that repair work. And that truck will probably go for around $8,000. So it'll be interesting to see what this goes for. I didn't really see what happened last time. They didn't even put it up for buy now. It's just back on the auction block. So we'll see what happens with that. And then this Tundra would be more work than I can do. Front bumper, it looks like it needs 100,000 miles is nothing. Headlights, maybe. It's got the 5.7. But again, it doesn't have like Bluetooth streaming, which the 10s and up had on the SR5 trim package. You see, yep, no Bluetooth in this. So I'm happy with mine. It's got 206,000 miles. Still doing work. We got 2 Accords. Interesting units. I'll just add those to the watch list immediately. See what they do. And 06 Lucerne. We've been talking about getting into these as they drop more and more as time goes on. Um, you just want to be careful. You don't want to pay too much. Wow, that LeSabe, $400. Remember I talked about this last week? So let's check out the Lucerne first. Yeah, the body's too rough. Not worth it. The upside isn't there. So yeah, 400. Now I'll add it to the watch list because I know the price. Oh, it's already on my watch list. 400. What would that be out the door? Granted, you're probably fighting to get 1,500 for this when you sell it. So about $700. I mean, that is not bad. That is not bad. It's a 3.8. It's just bulletproof engine if the gaskets are good. It's got the leather vinyl-y interior. Dent. I'm scared off the sell side. People really beat you up over the age, even though it's a solid car. Okay, and this turbo we talked about last time. It's a sporty Buick. They want $1,400 for it. It's 220 on the miles. I didn't realize the miles were so high last time. It's stationary. It's got a mechanical issue. So maybe the engine pumped on this one. The body looks pretty clean. So does the interior, but I don't know. Does anyone know what an Ecotech 4-cylinder goes for? The Escape. It's $650. It didn't sell last time. It's probably not worth it. Wasn't worth it before. Isn't worth it now. The CX-7 didn't sell. Like I told you, it's a weird little SUV. And that 1450 is probably $2,000 out the door. Oof. Cadillac Seville with the North Star. $575. That's pretty cheap. So let's see what the damage is. I got another Tahoe with damage. So we got a grill that's punched out. Yeah, it's already salvage title. And this is an 03. And again, I told you about that sideways North Star, what a pain it is to work on. I just don't see the upside. Yeah, I just don't see it. Camry Hybrid is still there. They have to buy it now at $2,600. Bat off MKZ, Accord, bat off Corolla, Kia Soul. These are decent little cars. We've got one in the fold. And the 4Runner, remember last week we saw this 4Runner and they want $1,400 for it. I said I'd be curious to see what happened with it. It went through and didn't sell, obviously. And their price is $1,400. So let's see what that would be with fees. I mean, this is intriguing, right? Because if you want to build an overland vehicle, an off-road rig, a winter truck, you can't go wrong with it if it isn't rusted out. And I kind of tend to err on the side of, okay, $1,900, $2,000 on the side that it is rusted out. I mean, what do you guys think? $2,000, is it worth it for this 4Runner? It has good tires, basic interior, fadey paint, 250 on the miles. Engine weight is what it is. Let's do a 360. Try to see if we can figure anything about rust. I mean, it looks intact. The car looks intact. I'm tempted to make this like a farm truck, right? Farm truck, overland camping rig. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it worth it? $2,000 for clean title 4Runner. Cheap. It's crushed in the back. It's too expensive. Equinox. Yeah. Saturn. Yeah. Getting close to the end here. Again, Vans. We're not into them. This Lexus. Was this here last week? No, it wasn't. It's an 06 with pretty low miles. 116 is low for a Lexus. I think it'll probably fetch $3,000 about. Oh wow, an X5 diesel. That is a car I'm always interested in. This one looks a little bit too rough. And this Taco Pre-Runner. I looked at one of these back in the day. The interior is tight, but it's a solid car. These tacos, and maybe 10 years ago it was too expensive. So this is a 2-wheel drive. It's already a 2150, so the desire for them is out there, and you got repair work ahead of you. This X5 diesel hit pretty hard in the front. Ugh, airbag deployment. Yeah, I like the idea of this car. I like the engine. It'll run forever. This one has 200. Kind of rare for BMWs, but this one's just been hit too hard. I don't think I could do this repair or get it done cheap enough to make it worth it. What year is this? It's an 11. I'll just add it to the watch list, see what it does. If the damage wasn't as bad, I would consider it stronger. The Lexus is hit in the back. Camry, Fusion, Shell, another Jeep. What's the story here? Hit in the back. It's a pretty new Jeep. Out of our price range, of course. RAV4, a burnt Compass, and a Sequoia. I mean, that Sequoia could be a work truck tow rig. You know, you could lock tools in there, set it up for towing, and it would just run and run and run. About 4.7, 280,000 on the miles. It's a run driver, salvage title, front end damage. There it is. You need a bumper, you might need a hood, and headlight. Yeah, it's gonna be a decent truck. It's just work up. This one obviously has had a rough life. I'll just throw it on the watch list. Alright, so there you go, guys. We'll see how things go tomorrow. The auction. The most interesting thing I saw was probably that 4Runner. You know, $2,000 out the door for that 4Runner. Is it rusty or is it not? You know, something to consider. This really high mileage Civic was interesting. So we'll see how the auction goes. All right.